This is the ZNS Network, providing radio and high-definition television services for the entire Bahamas. ZNS Network is operated by the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas. It is located at Harcourt Rusty Bethel Drive, Centerville, Nassau. Our programming is designed to inform, educate, and entertain. We invite you to join us.
The following is the preamble of the Constitution of the Bahamas, which was made on June 20th, 1973, and came into operation July 10th, 1973.
Whereas 481 years ago, the rediscovery of this family of islands, rocks and keys, heralded the rebirth of the New World. And whereas the people of this family of islands, recognizing that the preservation of their freedom will be guaranteed by a national commitment to self-discipline, industry, loyalty, unity, and an abiding respect for Christian values and the rule of law. Now, know we therefore, we the inheritors of and successors to this family of islands, recognizing the supremacy of God and believing in the fundamental rights and freedoms of the individual, do hereby proclaim in solemn praise the establishment of a free and democratic sovereign nation, founded on spiritual values, and in which no man, woman, or child shall ever be slave or bondsman to anyone, or their labor exploited, or their lives frustrated by deprivation, and do hereby provide by these articles for the indivisible unity and creation under God of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Coming up in the morning edition, Bahamas sets a date to open and rehire a number of hotel workers.
We feel just terrific that we can start to provide an economic shot in the arm to the local economy and certainly to the government of the Bahamas.
Also, what is the plan for the upcoming lockdowns?
If everybody remain compliant and cooperative in terms of the mitigation processes or protocols that are put in place.
And the latest on an overnight shooting and the action being taken by police.
Attention is not only paid to this area, but also over into the Baintown area as well.
All ahead in the morning edition, back after the break.
First, it's more than just our name, more than just our achievements. It's our nature, and it's where we put our customers. At Bahamas First, we've refreshed our look, but our nature remains the same. We design insurance solutions that protect our customers from life's uncertainties, whatever they may be. We equip you for the future so that you can recover stronger. Bahamas First, what's first for you comes first for us.
With today's fast-paced life, living in a healthy lifestyle and getting close to nature can be a luxury. Ancient Chinese Secret brings to you Reuse Slim and Benefit Slimming Tea. Both products are created by a combination of traditional culture and modern technology with Chinese natural herbal ingredients. Detox your body, burn the fat, and take a bath for your intestines today. Remember, Reuse Slim and Benefit Slimming Tea. Most recognized and trusted in herbal weight loss worldwide. Call 557-1369 for more information.
Allen, and welcome to the Morning Edition. As you wake up this morning, expect more windy conditions on the outside, cloudy conditions caused by a stationary front, and moist conditions from a tropical depression. This system will continue to produce unsettled weather through tonight. Some scattered showers are likely into this afternoon. Also, current conditions on the outside, expect 77 degrees with mostly cloudy conditions with winds easterly at 12 miles per hour and a humidity level at 88%. Here is your general outlook for the days ahead. And our Charles Fisher, the morning traffic team, now on the street. Charles, what can you tell us?
The traffic report is sponsored by Bahamas First. First in insurance. Today, tomorrow.
Good morning. We are here in the area of Prince Charles and Soldier Road. And as usual, we are joined by Sergeant Cressonier Johnson. But before we get to what's happening here, The former Member of Parliament, Darrell Rowe, lies in state for session this morning. Busy morning for you guys.
Yes, very busy morning indeed. This morning we're going to have a lot of traffic in that downtown area. We're just advising the general public, if you need to traverse that area, to please do so with added care and caution. Be vigilant. And I have those persons in that area from 7 a.m. this morning until about 4 o'clock this afternoon, because they intend to have a ceremony, a short ceremony there, and you're going to have to disperse the persons to maintain the COVID regulations. So we're asking as much as possible, if you need to drive in that area, if you're any pedestrians, you're traveling in that area, please do so with care and caution and follow the rules and regulations that they have in place within that area.
This is a very busy area. Even though schools may not be open, St. Augustine, Kingsway Academy, St. Andrews, St. Anne's, all those come in this area. We're seeing a lot of traffic here this morning. Police are on the road. I have a form of notice of prosecution. If I am handed one of these, no, this is not mine, I'm a good, safe driver. If I am handed one of these, what do I do?
Okay, well, anytime you're involved in a traffic accident or a traffic incident, you're going to be issued with a notice of intended prosecution form. The notice of intended prosecution form is it simply does exactly what it states. It notifies you of intended prosecution. So you may ask yourself, why? If I'm in a traffic accident, I don't feel as if I'm at fault for this accident. Why am I receiving this form? You're receiving the form because you were involved in that manner. Even persons who are property owners usually receive that form. And you'd see outlined on that form different offenses. You have driving without due care and attention, driving while intoxicated, dangerous and reckless driving, or killing in the course of dangerous driving. Okay, so all of those offenses are noted on that form. Now, another thing, a very important thing that is also noted on that form is a case number. A case number is recorded from the police control room. Anytime you report an accident, that number is going to be assigned to your matter. It's a number for reference purposes, and it's also important for when you're checking on your accident report. When coming into the traffic department or any police station anywhere in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, you want to have that form with you so you can show officers so they can be able to identify your matter. So what happens once you are on that scene, you're going to be served with that form. Now, there are incidents where you probably would have it delayed, and if that time is delayed, the officers would then contact you and then have that form served on you.
Traffic matters overnight.
Overnight, we have had 5 traffic accidents involving damage, no traffic accidents involving injury, and no hit-and-run matters. We currently have 7 persons who remain hospitalized, 1 who is very ill. They remain hospitalized as a result of being involved in a traffic accident.
Any areas that motorists should avoid today as we get out of here?
Well, at this particular point, we don't have any high volume areas. Besides, of course, in the morning, this morning commute and the evening commute, we're then advising as much as possible for the Blue Hill Road traffic, that northbound traffic, and the evening, again, the southbound traffic. Milo Butler Highway, same thing, northbound, southbound. Again, in this area, which we say is rather busy, anybody's going westbound, eastbound, asking as much as possible for those areas. We know they are usually high volume traffic areas, especially East Street and Robinson Road. We know that, so as much as possible, you're traversing those areas. Please do so with added caution. Remember, you're being watched. We've put cameras in those areas to monitor the flow of traffic. So please, as much as possible, adhere to the road traffic rules and regulations.
Once again, I'd like to thank Sergeant Cressenia Johnson for joining us here on a busy Prince Charles. If you don't have to come in this area, please don't. Back to you.
And turning now to stories of the day. Positive news from the hotel sector as Bahamian announces a December 17th opening date. Now the move will see the employment of about 1,500 employees in the first phase. The multi-billion-dollar property will open to guests under a new normal, offering access once again to a major part of the tourism landscape. President Graham Davis on that decision.
I think people are just exhausted, ready for a break, and what better place to come than the Bahamas? It's so close to the United States. It's safe. It's a safe destination. Europe is off limits at the moment, and there are so many other international destinations that are off limits. This is truly the best destination to be coming to this time of year and going into the winter season. But we expect and already seeing by announcing today bookings starting to come in. Certainly our casino guests that we have a relationship with are excited to be coming down. We've been closed at this time when we opened 9 months, There's a tremendous amount of pent-up demand.
Now, initially, Bahama was eyeing an October opening, but pushed back the date as local cases spiked. However, Davis says he's confident that conditions are now favorable.
Well, we certainly appreciate the government's efforts on where we are today, which is a reduction in cases here in New Providence, with the new testing requirements coming into the island, which is the 5 days prior to arrival, negative RT-PCR test, and certainly the 5th day testing after arrival. On top of that, with our new protocols, our new safety protocols, which is creating a safety for our guests, and that's a commitment to the well-being of our guests, in that we'll be testing our guests upon arrival, as well as all of our associates with a rapid antigen test prior to starting work, and then on a weekly basis.
Meantime, considerations are being given on the status of future lockdowns here in the country. Health officials met yesterday to discuss the way forward as COVID-19 cases continue to dip. Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Dr. Hewitt Minnis, comments on the possibility.
Every decision we make is data-driven. Between now and Sunday, I will address the nation in terms of the way forward. If everybody remain compliant and cooperative in terms of the mitigation processes or protocols that are put in place, if we were to do that, then the numbers would continue to come down, and maybe we can have a good Christmas moving forward.
And from the House of Assembly, new financial bills passed to help modernize that sector. The financial and corporate services providers and digital assets registered exchange bills will have far-reaching impact. Minister of Finance, the Honorable Peter Turnquest, says the bills will offer much opportunities.
And we're now, having done the legislation and put in place the building blocks for the industry, we will now move into the promotion aspect of the business and the training aspect to make sure that we have the skills in place, that we have the infrastructure in place to now go into the world and promote this new entity, ensuring that we take along Bahamians, as I said earlier, with us. Because again, this is an opportunity here for Bahamians to possess this land in terms of taking control and being the experts in this fintech space. So the point that the member makes is valid, but I don't want him to think that we just, throw a piece of legislation together and say, God bless you. That's not the idea.
And while still no confirmed results in from the U.S. elections, those counts are still underway. Former Vice President Joe Biden leading and President Donald Trump trailing after a second day of ballot counts. And while most eyes were on the presidential race, a Bahamian was actually in the mix at the city council level in Florida. From the Hanna family 3, Shannon Lady Ig-Ohora, that's a difficult name, offered herself as a candidate for Miami Gardens seat 3 and won by the biggest margin in the district. She garnered more than 62% of votes. Now, following the victory, Shannon celebrated along her family and friends. Pulsating sounds of Junkanoo could be heard. For those of you not familiar with Shannon, she was born right here in New Providence and grew up in Montel Heights, attending C.H. Reeves before moving on to Government High. Coming from such humble beginnings, Shannon is elected to represent her home county in public office.
The community that I represent, Bunch Park, has the most concentration of Bahamian indigents in the U.S. My win is not about politics. It's about public service. I have served this community for the last 25 years since graduating from Florida Memorial University. And it is that same commitment to public service that I'm going to carry on to ensure that we have contract opportunities for women and jobs for our youth, and to guarantee that we have one of the most prestigious and effective public safety programs in the country.
And coming up, 1 man is dead and 4 others sent to hospital following an overnight shooting. You are watching The Morning Edition.
During this pandemic, it's our duty to ensure that all citizens, residents, and visitors are adhering to the COVID-19 safety protocol. Every person shall practice physical distance between themselves and others who are not of the same household of no less than 6 feet. I am Ambassador Amanda H. Gum of the COVID-19 Enforcement Unit. Save a life that may be your own.
This message brought to you by the Ministry of National Security in conjunction with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Hi, I'm Dr. Pinder. During this global pandemic, we ask for you to be responsible. As we fight the COVID-19 virus together, we would like to encourage you to do the following. Wash your hands. Cover your mouth and nose with a flex elbow or tissue when coughing and sneezing. Practice social distancing by staying 6 feet apart. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth, and if you must go out, wear a mask. We stay here for you. Please stay home for us. To those of you on the front line, we salute you as we continue this fight together.
This message has been brought to you by the Ministry of Health in conjunction with GD Media Solutions and this television station.
We are doing everything we can to make sure that the patients are safe.
The Baptist Health System has an infrastructure and protocols to make sure that you continue to have the care that you deserve.
We're caregivers. This is what we signed up to do. We show up and we take care of those that are in need.
Providing care with my patients that I would want for my own family member.
Come into the hospital if you need that care.
What matters most is your health. Be proactive.
And welcome back. Police start the day off continuing an intense investigation into an overnight shooting. Now, authorities got the call around 7 o'clock last night about a shooting incident on Peter Street West involving 5 individuals. Police Press Liaison Assistant Superintendent Audley Peters shared details of the initial investigation with reporters on that scene.
A group of persons were gathered in front of a residence. When a small vehicle approached, 2 men exited the vehicle and produced firearms, which they discharged in the directions of the persons gathered. 5 males were injured, 4 of which were transported to the hospital via private vehicle. As a result of one being incapacitated, the EMS services were called, and on their arrival, they examined the body and pronounced it unresponsive.
And while a motive is still being determined, police were not able to provide an age range of the victims, but did confirm that the incident involved a small Japanese vehicle. Police also revealed that 3 of the victims are detained in hospital, while another was treated and discharged. Authorities added that Peter Street is being closely monitored by police.
The commander for the area, who is Chief Superintendent Ferguson, has deployed a number of persons that have recently had a walkabout a few days ago. And so I can say with all confidence that attention is not only paid to this area, but also over into the Baintown area as well.
And switching gears, this morning, our Charles Fisher continues his conversation with Deputy Commissioner of the Royal Bahamas Police Force on women and how far they've come.
As the newly appointed and first ever female deputy commissioner, one may think that most of her time is spent behind the desk. A hands-on person from she joined the force some 37 years ago, Ismella Davis-Delancey had this to say about whether or not she misses being in the action, so to speak.
Sometimes. We do go out every now and again in our commissioner's policing plan. In the policing plan for 2020, the commissioner's mandated, certain nuggets, and so once a week or sometimes once a month we go out. And since we started the pandemic, we've been out, checking the points and assisting with the pandemic.
Women have paid their dues and come a long way since first being allowed on the force.
64 police women only worked at Central Police Station. But now, today, we have police women in every facet of the organization. We have police women who are with the K9, we have pilots, we have those in the forensic lab, we have those who are in general duty police stations. Police women are everywhere.
And yes, the job may look to be dominated by males, but the females are holding their own and bring a different approach.
As women, we bring an extra edge. We have that the spirit of compassion. We have the opportunity to give it another look. And so when we bring to this perspective, whatever the issue is, we're able to bring the mothering instinct, we're able to bring the big sister instinct, we're able to look at it in a different way.
Things have definitely changed, especially in 2020. She heads the administrative side for the force in this corona pandemic.
Corona has taught us that we cannot continue to do things the same way. You know, we've, as an organization, we had to revisit a lot of the procedures and policies that we look at. You know, today, officers have to be wearing their masks. We have to be able to sanitize. You know, we have to, in an environment, we have to look at the social distancing and all of that. And so every day we have to continue to encourage the officers. It's a heavy feat.
As the force and the Bahamas is dealing with one thing from another, Hurricane Dorian in 2019.
A number of our officers in Abaco and Bahama were impacted. We had to send officers there. I was one of those first set of officers to go. I went to Abaco on the 2nd of September, right after the storm. I left to go that morning and didn't know when I was coming back. I spent 5 days. You get to create a balance because, you know, I called my family and I said, I have to go to Abaco. I went and told my husband I have to go. And I'm grateful for his support. I'm grateful for his support because I think more than anything, him and my family have been my greatest supporters.
For the Morning Edition, I'm Charles Fisher.
Thanks a lot, Charles. Now, the government announcing a national cybersecurity project in partnership with the International Telecommunications Union. ITU is the information and communication technology arm of the United Nations. Our Italia Hall has more on this developing story.
The National Cybersecurity Project will provide technical support to the Bahamas through the assessment of the country's current cybersecurity capabilities and the development of a national cybersecurity strategy. The partnership will also assist the government with the establishment of a national computer incident response team, which will serve as a single, trusted, central coordination point of contact for cybersecurity. Priorities will include identifying, defending, managing, and responding to cyber threats. Currently, the fight against cybercrime is limited to the resources available in the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Minister of State in the Office of the Prime Minister, Senator the Honorable Kwesi Thompson, with responsibility for the Digital Transformation Unit, says it is critical that the Bahamas places a greater focus on cybersecurity. The government of the Bahamas is engaged in the digitization of more than 200 government services over the next 5 years. Thompson adding that since the passage of Hurricane Dorian and in the country's current reality of providing services during the COVID-19 pandemic, government agencies and the private sector entities are conducting more business transactions over the internet. It is therefore important to minimize the risks associated with operating business online. The implementation of this national cybersecurity project is critical to the country's national digitization program. Now, the National Computer Incident Response Team will also be ready to respond to attacks targeting the national critical information infrastructure and will also act as an advisor to the government on all cybersecurity matters. There will be significant focus on national awareness training programs, improvements in cybersecurity procedures, and defending and protecting infrastructures and government agencies as well. Italia Hall, ZNS Network News.
This is the Morning Edition. There's more news after the break.
You are a healthcare worker. Thank you for fighting on the front lines against COVID-19. It is normal to feel stressed when taking care of others who don't feel well. But remember to take care of yourself. Don't forget to rest between shifts, eat healthy meals, engage in physical activity, and stay connected to family and friends. Avoid harmful coping strategies like drinking alcohol. For managers of healthcare workers, the same tips apply to you. Here's how you can help. Consistently give updates, rotate staff between high and low stress level functions, encourage work breaks, and ensure that they know where they can find help. We are here for you.
Telemedicine is seeing an uptick as many ailing patients remain challenged in mobility due to COVID-19 restrictions. I recently sat down with its president. Mobility is a challenge for many patients, especially during COVID-19. However, Avery Lightbourne, president of Telecare Bahamas, says a new product on the market may assist patients with access to their doctors.
Well, what we have here is a remote patient monitoring device. We know that remote patient monitoring is not a new idea, but how you use it, it's now innovative into 21st century. So what can happen with remote patient monitoring, instead of writing down your information and sending it to your doctor has access to your information directly now by using technology. And when you talk about the vitals in a doctor's forum, these are very critical to a patient's health.
Taking vitals is a critical part of the process for many doctors. How does your product assist with that?
Doctors need this information in order to get an idea of what is happening in a patient internally. So, for instance, if your vitals are regulated with the norms, whatever those norms are, based on the doctor having you as a patient, he would know that, and he would be able to set those thresholds so that you would know that, so that when you're taking your pressure or you're taking your glucose or any one of the other activities, you'll be able to have a picture of what you're looking for. And this would now activate the doctor to either call you via phone, or they can use their portal or the app to give you a call to find out what is going on with you.
Dr. Ian Kelly at New Life Healthcare says since joining the program, it has worked wonders in improving patient care.
Vitals are everything for us, all right? That's how we monitor the patient. We see how they're doing. We check their blood pressure. We check their pulse. We check their temperature, their respiratory rate. And that's how we measure how the patient is doing, whether they're normal, healthy, or in their stress. I can be at arm's length and see that there is something going on with the patient that is not right, especially if the temperature, say in this environment where we might have COVID and we have a patient, if I can see the temperature go up, and if I can see their oxygen saturation go down, I know the patient is worsening, all right? And so I can immediately respond to that patient.
Lightbourne adds that this new app appeals to a range of patients from the elderly to those with asthma, and that the service is currently approved by a number of insurance providers.
I spoke with a number of insurance companies that say they do cover this under telemedicine, and so it's up to the doctor to also engage this in order for the insurance to pay, of course.
Lightbourne explains his passion behind telemedicine.
My mother, she died of cancer, breast cancer, and a lot of times there was always an issue when it comes to persons getting off from work to go and check on her, persons getting off to give her a ride to the hospital, engaging her doctor, setting the appointment time when she would be able to get there or the doctor would be able to see her. So if you know that you have a family member that suffers with these things, it would be great for you when you reach to the age where these critical or chronic conditions have the possibility of happening to you, to start taking care of your own self. So I would say it's a great responsibility for you to actually know what's going on with yourself.
And the Cabinet Office announced that the body of the late Honorable Darrell Roll will lie in state in the foyer of the House of Assembly today. The viewing will take place between the hours of 9 a.m. and 3 p.m., and family members are invited as dignitaries will view the body between 9 a.m. to noon. As the House of Assembly building is a public domain, wearing of masks is mandatory, as is social distancing and adherence to all social distancing and other protocols. Viewing for the general public will be from 12 noon to 3 p.m. today. But yesterday, a memorial service was held for Mr. Roll. Opposition leader, the Honorable Philip Davis, reflects.
He made a tremendous contribution to the development of the modern Bahamas. And he did it as one of the youngest legislators elected and the youngest member of cabinet ever. And to at that age to surrender himself to a life of public service is phenomenal and something that we all should be grateful for. He served in any number of ministries from about 1974 in the Penley's cabinet. And no doubt that Sir Lyndon saw in him a visionary leader and plucked him from amongst the young flowers of our garden, the Bahamas garden, and put him in a place where he could have flourished.
And the British Legion Bahamas branch salutes World War II Bahamian veteran Comrade Henry Kelman. The 92-year-old Comrade Kelman currently resides in Freeport, Grand Bahama. He is an active registered member of the British Legion Bahamas branch. He is one of the registered Bahamian survivors of World War II, and 75 years ago, he served in Her Majesty's Royal Air Force as Batman. We salute Comrade Henry Kelman. To our television and online viewers, we thank you for continuing to make ZNS your #1 news and information network. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. Make it a safe day, Bahamas.
COVID-19 isolation tips, protecting others while in quarantine or self-isolation. While in quarantine or self-isolation, use safety measures to protect yourself and community from spreading COVID-19. Being in quarantine or self-isolation can make you feel anxious or stressed. Ensure that you take care of your emotions. Physical distancing does not mean socially disconnected. Stay connected with family and friends digitally. Keep a daily routine. Exercise daily, get rest, eat healthy, engage in activities, avoid unhealthy behaviors, and seek information from credible sources. You are not alone. Contact our hotline at 819-7652 or any of the numbers that appear on your screen.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
To create our own footprints in the sand. Although our stories others can't relate, that's what makes me who I am. I'm just like you, you're just like me. We're all no different, we're all the same. I'm just like you, you're just like me. We're all no different, we're all the same. Extraordinary, we are ordinary people. We are ordinary, but extraordinary. We are ordinary people.
I'm an ordinary person that I believe I love people. I love God first of all, and I enjoy what I do. I enjoy the gift that He has given to me to help make people laugh, and also the gift to bring help and hope. And that's really basically who I am.
She is Therese Davis Nixon, and the other side to her is Dynamite Daisy. Her raw ambition started very early in the game when she created and introduced her hilarious character Dynamite Daisy to